Hey guys and gals, my name is Mattlexic, and in this video, I'm going to be doing something that I don't normally do. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you all how to look like a horrible YouTuber, even though you're not one. Oh yeah, and also, I have a confession to make that I will talk about in a completely separate video. And also, I should mention that the people who use these thumbnails, the YouTubers that use these thumbnails, are not actually all that bad. Except for Azulan and more Mr. Top 5 because their reactions are absolute shit. But for every other YouTuber that uses this thumbnail, this is not meant to be directed as rude. So yeah, to those, I'm very sorry if you feel offended. But enough talking, make sure to leave this video a like, and let's get straight into the tutorial. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is find a color background. Now, typically, the YouTuber would use a crimson red background. I wouldn't exactly say crimson, but I would say like RGB red. Typically a YouTuber would use an RGB red background. Well, you can do any color you want, but for this tutorial I'm going to use RGB red because that's typically what the YouTuber will use. Now you can have it in any resolution that you want because in Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, which is what I use to make my thumbnails, we will stretch the background. So now that you've downloaded your background, and that I closed the downloads tab here, which you don't really need to do, the next thing you're going to want to do is take a picture of yourself. So typically I use my phone to take a picture for my thumbnails. So now the YouTuber will use a shocked expression. So you're going to want to do like nobody YouTubers in their thumbnails. So I'm going to use like a shocked expression. You already want to look scared, you're crying, like surprised. Like surprised in the good way. You're gonna want to use like some expressions that fit the thumbnail. You want to make it look kind of not exactly clickbaity, but you want to do that corny like cliche YouTuber thumbnail thing. So I'm gonna take the picture. I'm gonna set it to photo. I had it set to square this whole time. So I'm gonna just. There we go. So now that I've taken the picture, I will then, you want to have it at this exact angle. Alright, you want to have it at that exact angle. I mean, you can have it at any angle because you can rotate it and reflect it. But just don't have it pointing directly at you from the front angle. Because that's not really, you want to have it at least at the corner, kind of. Because if you put it at this angle, it'll automatically go to this. But you can reflect it in Illustrator, which I will explain in a bit. Alright, so now that you've taken your picture, you either need to import it through USB or import it through Dropbox. Now typically I use Dropbox because there's something wrong with my phone in every way, shape, and form kind of. So typically I use Dropbox to import the photos. So for my phone, it doesn't really take all that long to import. So what I'm going to do here is tap create and then upload the photo. And then I'll be back once I have everything all downloaded and stuff. Alright there, so now that I've got the picture downloaded, it's time to find a picture that will fit the thing. Like you see, let me use Sniper Wolf's thumbnail for example. Like you know, it all fits everything. So you want to find an intriguing picture that doesn't have anything to do with the video. Well, it has to do with the video, but that's not in the video. For example, Dang Matt Smith calling these random numbers, and 666 is on the thumbnail, but he doesn't actually call 666. So you want to use something that has to do with the video, but you don't actually do in the video, or react to. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find, for example, I'm just going to make my thumbnail. So I'm going to take a picture of myself, I'm going to take a picture of myself with my phone, kind of clicking and stuff, finding a crimson, actually no. It can be what you do in your photo. Not photo. I mean, it can be what you do in your video. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a picture of myself clicking away. So I'm just going to see if I can get an angle from here. There we go. Sometimes the facial, my voice cracked. Sometimes the facial expression will have nothing to do with what's being displayed on the thumbnail. So now I am going to fix the resolution. I look absolutely amazing in this photo. I'm just gonna fix the resolution. And it seems like, wow, I look absolutely amazing in this photo. Alright there, so now you're gonna wanna import that either through USB or Dropbox. So again, I'm just gonna use that same Dropbox procedure that I did before. Alright, so now that you've imported that second photo, it's time to go into Adobe Illustrator. The best part of making your thumbnails. Alright, well, unfortunately, OBS wants to be a little so I'm gonna have to record like this. So how I typically do my thumbnails is I go to Create New, and then I set it to 1920 by 1080, and then I click on Create, and then I make sure that the view is good. So now we are going to place our objects. So you go to File, and then Place. Let me just point it down so that you can't, see my personal files. So now that you've got your file selected, you are going to want to place it like this. Now, it doesn't really matter what the resolution is because you can just stretch the background out. Oh, and shall I also mention that your picture and background need to be on the right side of the thumbnail? Because I remember Infinite did his on the left side of the thumbnail once, which I got a heart attack from, and the YouTube gods cursed him for indefinitely until he made a good thumbnail. Now, typically, you want the background to fill up like a quarter to at least almost half of the thumbnail. Now, some YouTubers do like this thin of a background. Why? Why do they do that? But let me just go ahead and fix that. There we go. Let me just go ahead and fix this real quick. Alright, there we go. So now you're gonna wanna place your photo, the photo of you. There we go. Now, you're gonna wanna scale it down. You don't wanna like size it down so much that it ends up like looking all deformed and stuff. You don't want it to look all deformed. So, you're gonna wanna scale it down. So now that you've got it all scaled down, you're gonna wanna make a clipping mask. So how I do this is I use the pen tool. I turn off everything. At least, I turn off the fill and the stroke. And then you're gonna wanna... Alright, so I'm gonna make the clipping mask, and I'll be right back. Alright, so now that I've made the clipping mask, I'm gonna hold shift, and then click on my picture, and then I'm gonna right-click, and then make clipping mask. So now you've got this. So you're gonna wanna scale this up. Alright, now some YouTubers do this, but most do this. They kind of rotate a little bit. So in this tutorial, I'm gonna rotate it. Well, now let's scale it up just a little more. Alright, now you're not gonna wanna use a stroke for this thumbnail. Also, if you're scaling it up like this, just make sure that the edges here of your photo are not visible. Alright, so now that you've got this part done, you are now going to place the point of your video here. Alright, so again, you're gonna wanna scale it down. Alright, well, some YouTubers like to stretch this part of the thumbnail. I don't know why, but they just do. And also, I'm too lazy to figure out the real resolution here, and I don't really feel like scrolling so much. So, well, as I'm recording. So, I'm gonna stop recording for a bit and then fix this. Alright, now I finally figured out the real resolution of this image. Now I'm gonna fix this because this is giving me OCD. Alright, there we go. So now that I've got that aligned, it looks like we're done here. This is pretty much all you need to do in order to be a lazy YouTuber. So I'm not really gonna use up this much. I'm gonna see what Sniper Wolf does, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I saw what Sniper Wolf did, and she has herself a little bit out of the thumbnail here. And she also has the red square, like, kind of like this. Now, for this tutorial, I'm gonna keep it kind of like this. Alright, and now your thumbnail is complete. And I would love it if this thing focused. That'd be great. Here we go. Oh my god. Alright, just screw it. Alright, so now, you're gonna want to export it. Alright, so now that I have my thumbnail exported, now what you're going to want to do is save this, because if you want to look like a horrible YouTuber even though you're not one, and I would absolutely love it if this thing focused. Alright, so now that you've exported your thumbnail, now you're going to want to save this in case you ever want to make this kind of a thumbnail ever again, which please do not. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So now let's take a look at the final product. And this is your horrible, lazy thumbnail that please do not ever make a thumbnail like this. Please, I beg of you. This is just how they do it. This is not a tutorial on how to do it. This is just a tutorial on how they do it. Please make your thumbnails better than this. Please, I beg of you. Alright, well, that was sure fun. And I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial on how reaction YouTubers make their thumbnails. I beg of you, again, please do not do this, because you will get a lot of hate, and DJ Cook, JT, and Diesel Patches will expose you. But yeah, with that, if you like this video and want to see more of my content, then make sure to leave this video a like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and set your notifications to all. And hey, don't forget to leave a comment down below saying how you felt about this video. And this video is probably going to take me like 7 years to edit. But yeah, with that, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out!